Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic related to reactive form, where we will be seeing how to use FormGroup with radio buttons. If you remember, in our previous session, we talked about FormGroup with checkbox. But now, in this session, we will be mainly focusing on the radio button. Okay, so before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being, we are just mainly focusing on how to use reactive form group with the radio button. But prior to that, you should know what is form group, reactive form, and also the basic stuff that we have already covered. Now, just to make the things easier for you, I have already attached one book that is completely free for all of you, available in the description box. That is Tech Sharmit Digital Course Book, and there you will find more than 3000 plus free resources, which is available in Hindi as well as English language. So as per your convenience, you can consume the content. Okay. Alright, so now we will move ahead. Here you can see I have already in app.component.html file, where I have mentioned the headings like Angular course by Tech Sharmit and reactive form in Angular, form group with radio button. So these are the two headings that we have, and now we will write the logic that will allow us to design a form with radio button with form group. Okay, so firstly what we will do, like you can see, there are two headings with two horizontal rows. Now to design the form, firstly we should know the requirement. So our requirement is very simple and straightforward. We just wanted to create one form with one radio button to select the gender, which is either male or female. Okay, so now to implement this thing, I think requirement is clear. Like we although like in form multiple fields are there, but we are just demonstrating the concept of radio button with form group. So for that we will just simply use only the radio button, not any other extra field, because we wanted to mainly focus on the radio button part. Now for this to implement this, we will go to app.component.ts file. Here in imports part, we will mention a reactive forms module. Okay, reactives form module. Now once this reactive form module is added, now you are good to use it. Okay, because it will allow us to create the reactive forms. So once it is added, now you are good to go ahead and design the other rest of the things like variables and all the fields that you want to use. So I want to create one form group with the name user form. So for that I'll expand it, and here I will write user form equal new form group, opening closing parenthesis, opening closing curly braces, and inside this we will write gender colon new form control. Okay, so this thing is added. Now we will assign it as a blank, because by default I want to keep the value as blank. Otherwise you can keep any extra value. Let's say you can mention gender not selected, something like that, but for now let's keep it blank. So if user is not selecting any of the radio button, in that case we will get the value as blank. Okay, now you can simply use semicolon here, which will allow you to terminate this declaration, and once it is terminated, now we are good to move ahead with the HTML designing part, because this portion is completed. Okay, so what we have declared here, form control, form group, reactive form module. So always make sure that these three things are there, otherwise it won't allow you to use the form control and form group in your application. Okay, so this is ready. Now we will go to app.component.html file, where we will define the form. So I'll just simply write here form, then opening closing parenthesis, and inside this opening closing parenthesis we will define the rest of the thing. Like firstly we will assign the form group here, so we will write form group, and here in form group we will mention user form. This is my form group name. Then a space, after a space we will mention the ng submit, and here we will write here send data opening closing parenthesis. Now what is this send data? Actually I want to create a method in component.ts file through which we will simply write the message on the console. Okay, so for that let's copy this send data here and define the method. So I will just write here and opening closing parenthesis, curly braces. Inside this we will write console.log, and then we will write here this dot user form dot, and then we will mention value. Okay, so what it will do, it will basically provide us the value of the form through the console. Clear? So this method is also defined here. Always make sure that it is completely same. That means it is case sensitive. If you are not writing S here with capital S, or instead if you are using small s, it will throw the error, because here the meaning of capital S and small s is completely different. Okay, so this method is added. Now when user click on the submit button, it will take it will execute this method, and then we will see the output on the console. Now after this we will define our first label, and in this label I will write select gender and colon. Okay, so what this label will do, this will just simply highlight that you are going to select some gender, and then one by one we will define the labels. So firstly for the male, I'll simply write here male, and then you can define the radio button. So input, here I will write the type as radio, then we will mention here form control name. So form control name would be simply the gender, because this is what we have already declared. Okay, and then you are good to use it. If like if you want to keep any other extra information, you can keep it here. Otherwise we are good for now, at least for this demo. So I'll just go ahead and define my second label. Second label is for the female. So accordingly, like I will define the input field, and here also I will define the type as radio, because this is also a radio button, and form control name as gender. Okay, then we will write here gender. Perfect. So let's quickly see this, and then we will add the logic for button. So ng serve -- open, this command will help us to run the program, and then we will verify the output on the browser screen. So you can see here we have one main heading, Angular course by texture myth, then we have secondary heading, reactive form in Angular, form group with radio button, one horizontal row, and then we have headings like select gender, male or female, with 2 radio buttons, and another horizontal row to terminate the form. These 2 horizontal rows are not mandatory at all. This is just for the I wanted to show it properly on the browser screen, that is why we are using it. Otherwise you can skip it if wanted. Okay, alright, so now we will add here the button. So just go and write button here, and in button we will write send data, because I want to show user that you are going to send the data. And here we will mention the type, and type would be of submit only. Perfect. So this is now ready. So here you can see everything looks good. Now to demonstrate this thing, what we will do, we will open the inspect. So right click, inspect, then console. Here if I select male, let's say, and click on okay, something is wrong here. You can see at a time it is selecting 2 options, so we need to make a difference here. So we didn't added the value, and for radio button value should be there, so that's why it is causing issue. So here I'll write value as male, and here I will write the value as female. That's why we are doing the testing. Okay, now I think it should work properly. So if I select male, it is selecting only one value. Okay, fine. And this is what we are expecting from the radio button. At a time, one value only. If you select female, it will select female, otherwise male. When we submit the data, you will see that gender is submitted with the value male. Likewise, if you select female and click on submit, you will find the gender is selected as female. In case initially if you didn't select anything and click on submit and send data, so it will considered as a blank. Why? Because here in component.ts file we have set the default value as blank. Okay, if you have put anything here like default, like gender not selected or something like that, accordingly it will show you the output. But for now we have selected it as blank, that's why it is showing blank here. So this is the overall process through which we can implement the form group with ready to button. I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.